Tonight on Coyote News, find out why your fall tuition fees may be a little more expensive, and find out how USD's ROTC cadets aren't just learning about normal first aid, but also how to deal with amputations. I'm Michaela Feldman.
And I'm Bailey Millen. One for Trinity on campus is raising awareness for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Find out how students are participating in the fight against cancer. And the winter months can be a stressful time for students, but the USD counseling services are here to help.
Plus, the swimming and diving team heads to the championship for the Summit League. And even though the women's basketball team lost an important player to an injury, find out how they plan to stay at the top of the conference. First, the headlines with Taylor Fouth.
South Dakota's U.S. Attorney Brendan Johnson is resigning. Johnson's been a U.S. Attorney for South Dakota for the past 6 years. The Department of Justice rules prevent Johnson from saying where he's going, but AP reports that Johnson's joining a national private law firm and is expected to open a Sioux Falls office. Johnson's resignation is effective March 11th. The Gates Foundation has dumped McDonald's from their investment portfolio. The $42.3 billion foundation says it won't invest in corporations whose profits are tied to activities that the Gates find intolerable. McDonald's has come under fire in the past year on a number of fronts, ranging from its high-calorie meals to low wages for its workers. More than 20 years after his death, there's still plenty of news about Dr. Seuss. Random House Children's Books announced today that it will publish a recently discovered book called What Pet Should I Get? The book was likely written between 1958 and 1962. The book features the same brother and sister seen in Dr. Seuss's 1960 book, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. And those are your headlines.
When students go to pay their tuition fees and bill next fall, they may find the amount of the fees has increased. The Student Government Association passed a resolution in December to increase the general activities fees students pay each semester. The increase would cost students $4.50 per credit hour, and the amount would increase over a 3-year period until it caps out at $13.50.
Was brought forth to SGA at the end of the fall semester, basically outlining a vision to be able to address significant shortfalls that we have in student programming.
Breaking down Senate Resolution Number 4, on average, students currently pay just over $38 in GAF fees each semester. The proposed rate for the fall 2016 semester would be just over $43. Overall, the GAF increase is expected to generate about $720,000 over the next 3 years. More than half that amount is planned to benefit USD's athletic department. Tortson says the GAF increase is minimal and students would hardly notice the slight change. Student forums about the GAF increase are in the works, and some SGA senators are filing a petition to bring the GAF increase to a student body vote next month.
Starting on July 1st, beer drinkers in Vermilion will be paying more for their alcoholic beverages. Last night, the Vermilion City Council unanimously approved an ordinance to implement a 5% markup on the wholesale cost and freight of malt beverages within Vermilion. The funds passed will be put towards the city's Prentice Park improvements, which includes plans for a new pool. 2 Vermilion bar owners spoke against the ordinance at last night's meeting, saying the markup is going to affect their businesses.
Seasonal depression is a disorder that affects people during the cold winter months. The Student Counseling Center doesn't diagnose every student, but it does notice some students who do visit between late October until early March. Staff counselor Lauren Scher says it's important to keep a routine during the dreary South Dakota winter. She also says getting outside is very important.
We naturally need the sunlight. Essentially kind of everything within the brain chemicals and the brain matter and everything with the endorphins and serotonin, we need that to kind of, in layman's terms, get our chemicals flowing.
Scher encourages students to visit the counseling center if they're feeling the effects of seasonal depression. The center is located just off campus in the Cookhouse on Clark Street. Students who are looking for help can also call the counseling center or visit their website.
A measure that could ban a surgical abortion procedure in South Dakota passed through a House committee yesterday. The bill's sponsor, Republican Representative Isaac Latterall, told the House Health and Human Services Committee that a later-term abortion procedure could involve separating the skull from the spine. He says his legislation bans that practice, which he says could be part of a procedure called dilation and evacuation. Planned Parenthood spokeswoman Jennifer Alwes says the language in the bill is medically inaccurate and inflammatory, and that the procedure isn't performed in South Dakota. Over the protests of Democrats, the committee approved the measure 11-2. South Dakota lawmakers are also considering a number of gun bills, including the carrying of guns on college campuses. Yesterday, the House Local Government Committee voted 7-6 in favor of a plan to remove the prohibition that keeps people from carrying concealed weapons in the South Dakota Capitol building.
Coming up after the break, the USD women's basketball team is at the top of the Summit League. Stay tuned for the inside scoop on the team's winning streak. Plus, one fraternity on campus is fighting for a cause. Stay with us. Last semester, USD opened a new diversity center on the second floor of the Muck. Now, Coyote News' Anthony Gosh is live in the Muck with the center's director to find out how students are responding to the diversity program. Anthony?
Thanks, Bailey. The university's Office of Diversity is opened last semester, and with us today is the center's president, Lamont Sellers. Thank you for being with us. What is the overall mission of the Diversity Center?
The Center for Diversity and Community exists to really push forward the efforts of inclusive excellence, which is in the strategic plan of our university. We work with our students to continue to promote and educate and celebrate the cultures, the various social, economic, and other identities that people have.
What is the reaction from students that you've had?
It's been very welcoming and open. We've had a lot of students that have come and become a part of a lot of the great things that we've had going on. We've had a lot of students that come down and become a part of the Voices of Discovery dialogues that are going on in the course of the spring.
There's an event going on today. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, that's our Mosaic Leadership Mixer. We do that once a month. It brings together the various leaders of the student groups that are part of the center, as well as brings in other group leaders. We'll be working with Greek Life, work with other SGA groups, and it's an opportunity for co-programming, networking, and trying to do things together in a collaborative way.
Thank you so much. The university's Diversity Center can be found in the Muck Room 219. Live from the Muck, I'm Anthony Gosh.
Thanks, Anthony. The women's basketball team is wrapping up their season with a winning record. On this week's Yote Report, Erica Arpan finds out how they're preparing for the Summit League tournament in March.
After winning the Summit League tournament last year and heading on to the NCAA tournament, the women's basketball team is continuing their success. This year, the team has blown past opponents and has made it to the top in overall rankings. The Coyotes have extended their lead in the Summit League by 2.5 games, with 4 games remaining on the schedule. South Dakota State and Western Illinois are tied for second. IUPUI is third, and Oral Roberts is fourth. All of the teams except Omaha will have a spot in this year's Summit League tournament. Earlier in the season, the Coyotes played SDSU, the game that put the team in first place in the Summit League. Rachel Contreras, a senior guard, scored a career high of 32 points, beating her previous record of 29 points against NDSU earlier in the season. Contreras has earned the honor of being named Summit League Player of the Week twice throughout this season. She says the team is more than ready for the upcoming Summit League tournament.
You know, you're always excited to play in the tournament. It'd be good if we can go in, you know, having some wins under our belt. So we just want to win, end out conference strong, and just go in hard. hard.
Recently, one player hasn't been able to play due to an injury. Taya Miller, a junior point guard, had a slight tear in her meniscus and had to miss the NDSU game. She will be out for the last regular season games. Contreras also says they're missing a big part of the team.
Personally, it's so hard for me. I miss my point guard out there, and we're just waiting for her to get a speedy recovery and come back soon.
Along with the team starting players, the bench players have also been contributing to the team. The last regular season game is February 28th here in the Dome. For the Yo Report, I'm Erica Arpan.
Class, homework, and learning how to bandage an amputation are all in a day's work for USD's ROTC cadets. In the Dakota Dome, ROTC members are undergoing their annual first aid training as part of a series of monthly field training labs. The training includes instruction and demonstrations on how members would help a wounded comrade, how to improvise and tie a tourniquet, and how to tend to an amputated limb. These field training labs are part of ROTC cadets' unique training and are aimed at preparing them for on-the-ground action. Future labs will range in content from leadership skills to marksmanship.
When raising money for charity, most people don't think of actually fighting for it. But USD's Tau Kappa Epsilon is doing just that by boxing for a good cause. Participants have begun practicing for the annual Teak Fight Night on March 26th. Coach Jody Harnois has been working on defense and movement.
We really work a lot on balance and breathing because it's tougher than it sounds. Fight or flight response dictates that you're going to hold your breath while you're.
Harnois places participants in a class based on weight and skill. Senior Brian Campos decided to participate after first seeing it on social media.
Cause. Hopefully we can get a crowd in there and raise a lot of money for the kids. That's the main reason I signed up.
Participants practice every Tuesday and Thursday night beginning at 6:30. Last year, Teak raised $3,500 for the St. Jude Children's Hospital. This year's goal is $4,000.
Coming up after the break, find out how USD's faculty members are showing support in each other's accomplishments. And learn about Dakotathon's latest fundraiser and the furry friend they used to promote their cause. Stay with us.
USD's Media and Journalism Department can be seen and heard all over campus. Faculty members know that hands-on experience now is the key to success after college. Get professional experience by participating in one of the many practicums offered. Have your voice heard on the radio. Edit a promo for a campus organization. Investigate breaking news stories for a weekly newspaper. Design advertisements for local businesses. Get involved with the Media and Journalism Department at USD and start your future now.
The College of Arts and Sciences has started a new tradition of passing around a 100-year-old Irish cane. The cane is passed to faculty within the college when they have published a book. Dean Matthew Moen started the tradition. Moen received the cane from his mother after it had been passed down 3 generations. A ledger is passed with the cane so the recipients can write the name of their book.
My hope is that 100 years from now, assuming it doesn't get lost, that there will be this wonderful intellectual history of the College of Arts and Sciences.
Darlene Farabee was the first recipient of the cane for having 2 books published. She then passed it to Laura Vidler this month. Vidler will keep the cane until another book is published within the Arts and Sciences College. Just in time for Valentine's Day, the Campus Activities Board gave USD students a cartoon perfect chance, time with a loved one. Artist Tony Bigger spent last Thursday afternoon in the muck, drawing free caricatures of students with a special someone. To be drawn, students swiped their student ID card and received paw points for participating. This was CAB's first time bringing in a caricature artist. CAB's next event will be a hypnotist performing at the Mucks next Tuesday, starting at 7 o'clock at night.
Last week, Dakotathon hosted an event in the Muck where students were originally going to kiss a pig, but it turned into smooch the pooch instead. A change war put senior Dakotathon members face to face with a puppy.
Our advisor's dog dressed up as a pig, and we raised money throughout the week for all the seniors on the executive board, and the top 3 pairings, so 6 students had to kiss the pig, and we figured what better than Valentine's Week to kiss a pig.
Reagan, the French Bulldog Boston Terrier mix, even had her nails painted pink for the occasion. But originally, there was going to be a pig.
There's just regulations on pigs on campus, and Doug's dog Reagan was more than happy to put on her pink coat. The dog attacked everyone's faces, so it was nonetheless funny.
The event raised more than $100. On this week's Coyote blog, Andy Hartman gives us her opinion on eating whatever you want.
People are trying to be obnoxiously healthy, and it's horrible. Thanks, Michelle Obama. I used to be able to eat my Big Mac in peace. Now I get glares and upturned noses from people who think that I'm killing myself with this food. But you know, I may be, but at least I'm happy. Sure, eating a bunch of healthy food may make me live 5 years longer, but I don't think it's worth it. You can live to be 80 and eat delicious French fries your whole life, or you can live to be 85, but those 85 years are filled with gross, tasteless lettuce that costs more than the French fries. I work at a grocery store, and I am honestly shocked at how many college students I see buying organic food. Organic food is expensive. Where are you getting that money from? If I want to have 5 burgers in one sitting, I will eat them. If I want a palace made out of chocolate for me to eat, you can't judge me. America is known for 2 things: freedom and being fat, and thank goodness. I am free to eat chocolate death cake to my heart's content. And by heart's content, I mean until my heart shuts down because all the junk food clogged my arteries. But I'll die happy, and what more can you ask for? For Coyote Blog, I'm Andy Hartman.
Thanks, Andy. Coming up after the break, USD's swimming and diving team is heading to the Summit League Championship Tournament. And the women's basketball team continues their run at the top of the Summit League. Stay with us.
Basketball team continues its winning ways despite missing one of its starters, while the men pick up their 3rd win in a row. And in the Bauer Beat, Sean gives you his take on a famous baseball tradition. I'm Brandon Noel.
And I'm Sean Bauer. The Coyote swimming and diving teams are preparing for the Summit League Championships, which begin today. And Coyote News' Levi Goots is live with a member of the track and field team to talk about their season so far. But first, the headlines. Taylor?
Anthony Bosch was sentenced to 4 years in prison yesterday. Bosch, the owner of the medical clinic Biogenesis, was convicted of conspiracy to distribute testosterone in October. Bosch's clients included professional baseball players Alex Rodriguez and Ryan Braun, as well as high school athletes in the Miami area. Former UFC middleweight champion Anderson Silva failed his post-fight drug test after his bout on January 31st against Nick Diaz. Silva also failed a random pre-fight test on January 9th and is subject to suspension by the UFC for testing positive for banned substances. The 1980 United States Miracle on Ice team will reunite for the first time in 35 years this weekend in Lake Placid, New York. As part of their reunion, the team will raise team member Bob Suter's jersey to the rafters after Suter passed away this past September from a heart attack. The reunion is part of a celebration of the team's upset of the Soviet Union and Olympic gold win. And those are your headlines.
The USD men's basketball team stayed hot last night as they defeated non-conference Faux Olivia at the Dakota Dome for their 3rd consecutive win. The Coyotes were led by Casey Kasserbauer's 5 3-point field goals and shot better than 50% from the field as a team. The win moves USD to 14-14 on the year, and it's just the 3rd time this season the Coyotes have had a 500 record or better. USD plays next this Saturday as they host IUPUI at the Dome. On Sunday, the Coyote softball team tallied a 6-0 win against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Sophomore Rachel Q retired 21 of the 25 batters she faced. She allowed a single to Mackenzie Grebo to start the 4th inning and walked 4. Grebo was the only Islander who touched second base. Catcher Allie Daly and second baseman Sidney Hancock added RBI singles later in the 3rd. Third baseman Matt Lee Jones added an RBI single in the 4th to make it 6-0. Jones was 2 for 4 on Sunday and has hit safely in 7 consecutive games. South Dakota's first baseman Yvonne Minogue was 1 for 3 and scored twice Sunday. She's hit safely in all 9 games this season. South Dakota's next set of games take place February 27th through March 1st at a tournament hosted by North Florida in Jacksonville.
The swimming and diving teams are in Indiana today to compete in the Summit League Championships. As Coyote News' Kayla Dorhout reports, members of the team say they're ready to give each other support.
The Summit League has given the swimming and diving team weekly honors throughout this season, and now they are at the championships. Coach Jason Mahold says they will concentrate on the team, not their competition.
You'll see our team for sure, I think, improve from last year just off of the fact that we're not going to be overly concerned about what everyone else is doing, more focused on what we're doing.
The team has tried different things in preparation for the competition.
Coach Mahold says the team has made improvements in and out of the water this season, and at the Summit League Championships, they will be focused and ready.
We've gotten a lot stronger, I think, this year than we have in the past. We spent more time in the weight room, more time doing some stuff on land that we haven't done in the past. I think that's kind of paid off for us.
Even with individual training, the team has not forgotten each other.
Our team is very much about support. Jason, every meet, doesn't let us lose the support.
Corey Bonicelli likes being there for his teammates.
I really enjoy motivating my teammates and having my teammates motivate me, just cheering each other on, being there for each other.
That support system will start today and won't quit until the Summit League Championships are over.
Using each other to build momentum and I guess just continue motivating each other and creating positivity, because the positivity really spreads throughout the team.
For Coyote News, I'm Kayla Dorhout.
The swimming and diving teams will compete at the championships until Saturday.
Coyote News with us as a member of the USD track and field team to talk about their season so far. Levi? In this week's Bauer Beat, Sean gives you his take on a famous...
Thanks, Brandon. We're here with Tyler Frank of the USD track and field team, and we're going to talk with them about the season so far. Thanks for being with us. So you won the high jump event at SDSU last week. How are you transferring the momentum of that to the meet this week?
Well, I would start off with the week before. I ended up with a high jump personal best of 6'9" 3/4 and kind of fell off a little bit in Brookings. Hoping to pick that up this week, being that conference is the following. So.
Very good, thank you. The USD track team will compete in the Dakota Dome this Friday. Live from the muck, I'm Levi Goots.
Thanks, Levi. In this week's Bauer Beat, Sean gives you his take on a famous baseball tradition.
I've always considered the New York Yankees the greatest organization in all of sports. The championships they've won, the history of their franchise, and the legends who've played for them make that very believable. When Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, and Joe DiMaggio all have their jerseys retired by the Yankees, it means you have to be an all-time great to get your number retired. Well, apparently now you just have to be a good player on a great team, as evident by the retirings of Bernie Williams, Jorge Posadas, and Andy Pettit's numbers coming this year. Look, all three were good players, but they were on great Yankee teams. But just because you were a member of a great team doesn't mean your jersey should be retired. All three more than likely won't even be elected into baseball's Hall of Fame, nor are any considered all-time greats at their respective positions. The Yankees are ruining one of their greatest traditions, which is to honor their true legends of the game. When they retire Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter's jerseys in the future, it won't mean as much now because these three guys getting their jerseys retired. And Jeter and Rivera are two of the greatest players at their positions ever. So please, for the sake of baseball, Yankees, only retire the jerseys of those who are worthy of it. And that's the Bauer Beat.
Thanks, Sean. Coming up next, the latest edition of Coyote Shorts takes a look at both good and bad Valentine's Day experiences. Stay with us.
The
The Latino Student Organization is a all-inclusive student organization that focuses on bringing in Latino culture to University of South Dakota. We do fiestas, we do piñata parties. We also just hold potlucks where we cook and we just share Latino culture and food and just mingle.
This year, there's only one team running for SGA's president and vice president seats, but some students aren't sure what this organization does for USD.
On this week's Out and About, we asked students if they know what SGA does.
I don't know much about SGA, I just know that they're a student government association.
Represents the student body. That's about all I know.
Plans student activities.
I have literally no idea.
Something fraternity, I don't know. Like a student council for like the fraternity chair or something like that. I don't know.
Govern things, I guess. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. That is a good question.
I'm not directly affiliated with SGA, but I know it's a good resource for the students to actually kind of get what we might need changed on campus.
The student government overlooks student organizations and I guess funding for them.
They pass bills on our behalf every week. I believe Tuesday at 7:30, 6:30, something like that.
SGA is our student government association. They're the governing body for our students. They also are the body that oversee the student organizations and approve those organizations that operate on our campus.
This Saturday was Valentine's Day, and many students have had their fair share of good and bad Valentine's Day experiences.
On this week's Coyote Shorts, we take a look at how this year's romantic holiday turned out for a few students.
Hey Kat, so how'd your blind date with Joe I set you up on go?
Where do I start?
I'm sure it was great, but let me tell you about mine first. So first we had an amazing dinner. And then we watched one of my favorite movies at my place. And then we cuddled. But anyways, tell me about your date.
Well, first of all, I had to pick him up.
Hey.
Hey, how are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Sorry you had to pick me up. My mom took my car from me. You hungry? I know just the place.
He told me to pull into the McDonald's drive-thru. When he grabbed his drink over me, he smelt my hair.
Hey, how about a movie?
All right. He tells me to pull into this little corner off the road, whips out his iPod, and plays Star Wars.
Oh, I love this one.
2 hours later.
You know, I think I'm gonna head home. I'll just drop you off quick.
Oh, but I wanted to take you back to my house so I could destroy you. Oh, yeah, take that. Take that. Come on. Yeah, oh, yeah. Yes, take that. Yes. Oh.
At least you got a free meal.
I had to pay.
A new edition of the Volant hit newsstands today. Pick up a copy to read about the emergency blue lights on campus and why the university says 4 lights are sufficient in maintaining campus safety. Plus, an inside look at USD's greenhouse.
Be sure to catch the Cross Media Council's SGA panel's discussion with the only team running for the president and vice president seats. That's this coming Monday night at 8 o'clock in the Newharth Conference Room. The discussion will also be broadcast on cable channel 21 and KAOR 91.1.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And if you have a story idea you'd like to share, email it to us at kyotnews@usd.edu.
Have a great night. We'll see you next time.